You're going to see a wave of people that are going to need help in the next year, even in the next couple months, where they don't have any other option. So if you are a real estate agent and this is something like this is going to be something that comes up, whether you pay attention or not, you're just going to start seeing it. I really feel like short sales are going to make a huge wave. And again, it's going to be a different kind of client.
I have Nicole Espinosa, the short sale queen, with me today. We are going to talk short sales, which is really, really cool. I'm super excited to have her with us. It's going to be fantastic. Nicole, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. The best advice is to make sure that this is something that you want to do, right? Like you said, it's not for everyone. And really doing short sales does not make sense to do one or two. It's not profitable. You're doing an injustice to your client, to yourself, because you're going to be spending so much time on this one deal and you have a buyer, seller. And so I always tell agents, focus on one thing, go all in, right? Have your specialty, have your niche, because you're really not going to be able to be good or the best at anything if you spread yourself so thin. So if you are a new agent, learn the basics first. I actually don't mentor new agents because I tell them, I'm like, you need to learn the basics of a transaction on how, like what's normal before you learn the complicated things. Like with dealing with short sales, right? You're going to be focusing on what do I do when I get a contract? And I'm trying to tell you how to get the lien holder to accept the loss despite what it says in the contract. So it's just too much. So as a new agent, learn the basics. If you're an experienced agent and this is something that you're wanting to specialize in. So the best advice I can give is, make sure this is something that you definitely want to do, and then go all in and understand that you're going to need to specialize in it for it to make sense. My approach is completely different. I know that we're in sales, but we take this completely wrong approach and we forget that we're dealing with human beings. And we forget that it's specifically in this type of seller where they are distressed and they are emotional, that we have to get down to how can I build a relationship with you so that you trust me and understand that this is your best option. I did start using REDX when I first started. And so I'll tell you guys, the great thing about Vortex, which is a system you guys use, is that when they pull the data of pre-foreclosures, it also cross-references anything that's listed or that was listed. And so that way it automatically eliminates, people that you don't have to do the research of like, okay, I found this house. Now is someone else working with them? So you can filter out all of that data. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of different things, right? So you can do cold calling through the list. You can send out direct mailers. I will tell you, just like anything else, the direct mailers, it has to be almost like a compound effect. Like they're not going to respond to that one letter, right? Like you have to be consistent with it. If you're just starting out, the best advice I can give you is just get on the phones. Now with COVID, I would tell you to go door knocking, but people are kind of weird about that and it might not let you in the house, whatever your belief is, fine, whatever. But the best thing you can do is cold call, because that way it's a numbers game and you're going to try to reach as many, then it's just your time, right? It's just your time on how many contacts that you can get. So a lot of what I say is just being a resource, right? So I've never asked for business. I've always just been a resource for the community, and referrals just come as a result of it. Whatever market that you're in, if this is something that you're trying to do, start talking to people about it. Start telling people this is something that you're specializing in. You said bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is if you know bankruptcy attorneys, those are great relationships to have, because bankruptcy is just a Band-Aid for someone's financial situation, because at the end of the day, they still have to do something with the house.
Right.
So there's always a time frame where the attorneys could care less and they say, okay, well, just let it foreclose. No, I can actually help you with the short sale to avoid that. So you guys can be a great partnership or a great relationship for that. The probate, people that have passed away, they don't know what to do with the house, especially if, it's a loan where it's been default for a really long time. Those are great relationships to have, or people to prospect towards besides pre-foreclosure. So there's a lot of different things. Really the best way to think about it is who would be interacting with someone that has a financial hardship. where can I connect with people that need this type of help that don't have resources? I'd start there. With a short sale, we are actually settling their debt. So what affects their credit is the missed payments. So every month, and that happens regardless of whether they're doing a short sale. If they're behind, that's going to affect their credit. In a short sale, it's going to show as paid. And in the approval letter, which is what we work, towards to get, and that's the whole point, it's going to outline that they are forgiving that debt, that deficiency, which is the difference between how much they actually owe and what we sold it for, that they're forgiving it so that the homeowner can walk away free and clear from that house and from that debt. And that includes anything that involves the house: HOA fees, city liens, taxes, like anything that's associated with the home, we get paid. So when you look at it, it's like, in what world do you get someone advocating for you, and getting all your debt settled with no recourse in any other situation, right? So that's why this benefits the homeowner. Now, the bank is not just doing this because they have a big heart, right? The bank does a short sale. Remember, they're a financial institution. They're outweighing the benefit of a short sale versus a foreclosure. So if they go forward with the foreclosure, they have to hire a foreclosure attorney. They have to pay, and remember, they haven't been getting paid this whole time. So now they're out more money. Depending on the state and the foreclosure laws, it could take years. And that's just years of them not being able to collect on the debt. So now they've been behind, they have no one paying them, so they're in default, plus now they're out all those expenses. And then at the end of the day, they're gonna list the home with the realtor and get the as-is value. So that's why they're willing to do a short sale, because they know that, okay, a real estate agent's involved, they're gonna try and get the highest and best for the house, the homeowner's gonna cooperate, and we're gonna save money. So that's why it's a win-win for all the parties. And that's why they also agreed to waive that deficiency and waive the debt, moving forward. In a foreclosure, they're opening themselves up to liability. So they're opening themselves up to getting sued afterwards, pursuing them for that deficiency, as well as, having a foreclosure on your record, which, whenever they decide to report it, 7-10 years, it's going to be very hard to rebuild after that point. A lot of agents don't understand is that because of the pause of the forbearances, the pause of the mortgage payments, it's causing a ripple effect with people that are in default. And I believe that we're going to see waves of this happening. So just to give you perspective, it was like 6.6 million people that went into forbearance, and those are just government loans. So I don't know the statistic for conventional loans. What that means is that the banks were I actually went on a rant on this on Facebook, where I was getting so upset that real estate professionals were telling these homeowners, just call your bank, they're going to help you, don't pay. And I'm like, okay, hold on. These are financial institutions. Nobody's helping anyone. They're basically pausing the mortgage payments and saying, okay, pay us in 90 days. But by the way, when it's due, it's going to have now not only the 90 days, but the next upcoming payment. So if you couldn't make that one mortgage payment, can you make 4 at one time, right? Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. It's not like even right now in August, things have gotten a ton better. We're still trying to navigate the COVID waters of getting the states open back up. So now August is around the time of the 30 or the 60 to 90 days. And now people are like, okay, crap, I don't have the money. What do I do now? The only other option is to try to do a loan modification or to sell. And so what we're seeing is a lot of people being forced into a loan modification where their terms are changing and they still can't afford the house. So you're going to see, this isn't like a guess or whatever, you're going to see a wave of people that are going to need help in the next year, even in the next couple months, where they don't have any other options. They still haven't recovered their income. Now they're in a worse situation because they're not usually that type of borrower that had a bad loan like 2008, 2009. This is a borrower that they lost their job because their job didn't open up. COVID didn't allow them to work, and now they have to figure out how to survive. So if you are a real estate agent and this is something like, this is going to be something that comes up, whether you pay attention or not, you're just going to start seeing it in the next year. We're going to see for the next couple years. I really feel like short sales are going to make a huge wave. And again, it's going to be a different kind of client.